And welcome back. Time to talk to our panel. Seema Mehta's here, one of the main political reporters at the LA Times on the governor's race. We got Howard Bragman, a legendary publicist in this town. And we've also got Tim Conway Jr. from KFI. Ding dong.
Let's go.
Ding dong. Let's go. All right, let's talk about the governor's race. We just had John Cox here saying that Jerry Brown should be in jail next to Bernie Madoff. What did you make of what he said, and where do you see the race right now?
What we heard today was a lot of what we've heard on the campaign trail from John Cox, and he's clearly targeting Republican voters, trying to get Republican voters to consolidate behind his candidacy, because he needs that to get to place in the top 2 in June and move on. The question is, can he? He has some money, but he was unable to get the endorsement of the California Republican Party this past weekend. So it's an open question of whether he will be able to consolidate that vote. Yeah,
Tim, what do you make of that? Travis Allen also fighting hard for that vote as well.
Yeah, well, he's a Republican in California, so he's a shoo-in. I don't even know why we're discussing it. But I also vote for chaos. So whoever's going to take down the border, raise our taxes, and make it more impossible to live in California, I'd like to see that while I'm alive.
Okay.
The state going to the toilet looked like Venezuela.
This week we had a debate, and the biggest moment in the debate was Travis Allen, the Republican, taking on Gavin Newsom over the issue of his affair years ago, and also Antonio Villaraigosa talking about his affair. Let's show that, and then let's get a reaction on the other side.
The question is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't trust Gavin with his best friend's wife, how can you trust him with your state?
I was honest about it. I was open about it. I apologized for it. I was wrong. And I've learned an enormous amount from it. And I'm a much better person as a consequence.
I stand with the Me Too movement. And I also acknowledge that I made a mistake. I lost my marriage. I lost my family for a time. I took responsibility for it.
Howard, what do you make of that? Is that the way to answer that?
I think that's the way to answer it, but I think it's a little naive to think that people really care. I think we are so kind of numb from the national politics and affairs and what's going on. This actually seems a little quaint,
yeah,
in a certain sense, and it's hard to think that it's really going to get traction. And I want to go back to John Cox 1 second. I thought a lot he says is rational. A lot of it's true, to talk about the budget and the commitments and the pensions. And I think it's really important. And you have a chance to take some moderate Democrats with you. As soon as you start talking about putting Jerry Brown in jail, you've lost those moderate Democrats, and I'm not sure that's the right positioning for him.
Yeah, I mean, how do you balance that? Because he talked about the fact that he didn't vote for Donald Trump, but now saying on the show that that was a mistake, that he should have done something different. It seems like he's going hard right.
Right, he absolutely is. And I mean, it's sort of interesting because at first, when he first started campaigning, he often talked about how he was a Jack Kemp-style Republican. I don't know how many California voters remember Jack Kemp, but he was trying to portray this sort of more moderate, like, I'm a businessman, I'm fiscally conservative, I'm personally socially conservative, but that's not my top priority. But in recent weeks and months, we've really seen him, really highlight, whether it's a sharp approach on a conservative approach on immigration, an embrace of Donald Trump. We've seen him embrace the sort of right wing of the party as he tries to consolidate that Republican vote again.
Yeah, and as Donald Trump has been sucking up so much of the oxygen, people haven't really been paying attention to this governor's race. Let's talk about President Trump for a moment. A big week for President Trump, pulling out of the Iran deal and also having this North Korea summit announced, getting the prisoners back from North Korea. Tim, how do you feel Donald Trump is doing right now?
Well, now he's got 3 Koreans that will vote for him, right? That's always a positive.
Right.
Getting back to
Korean Americans, so that
sorry.
they vote.
Sorry, I apologize. And I'll be on the apology tour for that for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But getting back to Villaraigosa, I ran into him at the racetrack, and I said to him, hey, Antonio, I know when you were mayor, we said some crazy things about you. I'm just doing my job, you're doing yours. He said, yeah, that's fine. I'm starting to walk away, and he says, the one thing you said that bothered me was when you said that I did more damage, Villaraigosa did more damage to the city of Los Angeles than Al-Qaeda did. I'm like, maybe a little over the top, like John Cox. Yeah. But then again, that's what you got to do. You got to be over the top. Look at Donald Trump. That's how he won.
Yeah. What do you think?
But we live in this world where that tape and that moment is going to be used. If Cox is lucky enough to be running against, say, Gavin, all of a sudden Gavin's going to use that where he says, put Jerry Brown in jail, who was elected by millions of votes, 4 times in the state of
yeah.
California, it's really stupid to think it's not going to come back and bite you in the butt.
All right.
really
That's what they said about Trump for years.
And he's still president. All right, thank you
He
guys
is.
very
Go
much.
on.
Our panel isn't done just yet. Join us for the bonus issues online, including rating some of the really kind of strange recent political ads. Go to my Facebook page, YouTube page, just to watch right now, in addition to the Issue Is podcast. We'll be right